Sue, did you know we are still at the CBC doing this Winter Media Day? Did you know?
I did know, Tim. Thanks.
Arr. We are chatting with the folks from Diggstown.
Woo!
And I just
Going into season 2.
Right, season 2. But I was just looking at Vinessa's CV that Diggstown is in Halifax. We're in Toronto. Your kids are in LA.
Yeah. I'm all over the place.
Right. Do you even know where you are right now?
I actually don't.
Well, as long as you know where your kids are.
That much I do know. Yeah.
That's got to just mess with not only your geography, but your internal clock and everything.
I've gotten used to just diving into whatever time zone I'm in. I just dive in and I just power through it. And
you're better than I am. So
I barely make it to work on time.
Right. I'm like, yeah, give me something to drink and I'll be fine. But yeah, beyond that, I can't do it. Season 2. We're diving into a whole new season. We've got 6 episodes. And without sounding too harsh, I mean, there are so many legal procedurals out there. Going into the second season, how do you guys differentiate yourselves?
Surfboard.
Surfboard.
I think the show, the difference is I think we're trying to have conversations that the other shows aren't trying to have.
Nice.
You know, I think especially in season 2, I think we're just the dynamics between the characters, the dynamics between, you know, Marcy, the lead character that Vinessa plays, and the clients that she's representing. It's very different from the dynamic that existed last season, and I think we're just, one thing I've noticed about the show this year is that it's just been it's been a really good place to have organic conversations about various relationships between, you know, whether it's, you know, Black Canadians and Asian Canadians, or looking at the differences that exist between Indigenous Canadians and Black Canadians in their worldview, without hitting you over the head with it.
Right.
So I think that's something that we're doing that differentiates our show from every other legal show out there. And I also think that just the visuals of being in a place, right, and being outside and taking the time, because it is hard, because every day when we're shooting the show, we're in a different location almost every day. So just taking that time to find these like amazing visual spaces to put these characters, it really helps to kind of open the show up in a way that I think other legal shows or courtroom dramas don't do.
That's great. Totally. And do you guys break the entire season like in one sitting, or like in one writer's room? Do you guys kind of get together and break the season and use current events and the current political atmospheres to kind of inform where the season's going? Or?
What we do is we will, so usually I'll come to the table with, okay, like, so this is the journey I want Marcy to go on this year. This is the journey that I want Pam, etc., to go on this year. And then what we do is we start thinking about cases that could help inform that journey. So, you know, in the first episode, I really wanted to do a different spin on the cop relationship with the Black community story, right? And we were breaking the story, and it was like, well, let's do a shooting. And I'm like, no, let's not do a shooting. And so what we ended up doing was a vehicular manslaughter case where a cop kills a Black woman in the midst of a pursuit, and Marcy's representing the cop. And so it'll, like, to me, like, that was what we're always thinking when we're in the writing room is, how can we give something that's happening in the world our spin, right? So, you know, that's why, like, you know, so all of the cases this season, you'll notice that there is some element of taking a situation that has played out in the media, and we've kind of made it our own.
Right. And how does that affect your through line as an actor portraying that on screen?
You know, it's been so educational for me as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as an actor, especially being Canadian. These stories that we don't talk about, these conversations that we're not having, it's forced me to also kind of look at some of my own viewpoints on some of these issues, especially when we're talking about relationships with the Indigenous community, Black community, transgender relationships, and how we view ourselves in that. So for me, it's helped me grow so much as an actor and as a person. You know, this role completely changed my life.
Which is always good to hear as a showrunner, I bet.
Right. It's not bad.
Just for that, I'm going to give you some extra lines.
Oh no, I think we're covered on the lines.
She's good with the lines.
This man and his amazing vocabulary and court jargon.
We'll do a 10-page scene.
Yeah, he wrote an amazing 5-page courtroom interrogation scene that we basically, did in one take. But yeah, I was a little crazy for a few days there.
But I mean, after shooting something like that, though,
yeah,
to say, got it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm one of those people who will sit there and listen to the commentaries on how things are made,
right,
and to hear like showrunners and directors and actors then talk about one shot. Like, if you watch the Steadicam shot, it lasts for like 5 minutes and blah 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 blah, and you had to get it right every single time.
Yeah.
To hear the tension that causes on a set, but then to have the success of having done it at the end of it, you're like, yeah, that's got to feel really good.
It did feel really good, I have to say. Yeah.
And for a legal drama, you spend very little time in a courtroom, or like everything's happening out in the community, and that's what makes the diversity of the cast so powerful as well, because it looks like any Canadian town.
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Which
Maybe
is
not
amazing.
Creemore, where I'm from. Still.
But I think that's, I mean, one of the good things about the CBC, because they're bringing shows like this to the fore, and two, that by bringing shows like this to the fore, you are promoting those discussions that, like you said, weren't taking place before, and it's doing it through, I don't want to say an entertainment, like, in the popcorn way of saying entertaining, but through a mass entertainment way. You're bringing these things to the fore to say, let's talk about them, but making it without sounding wrong again, in an entertaining way.
Right.
You're bringing those discussions to the table, and those are important conversations to have.
Because nobody wants to have conversations like that when you feel like you're being beaten over the head with an issue. You're just like, oh, okay, I get it. We have an issue with the cops. We do have an issue with this Indigenous community. But if it's done in a way where you feel now connected to the people and the story, you're like, oh yeah, let's talk about this. What do you think about that? Or I didn't realize that I thought that about this issue.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's the kind of storytelling that always gets me involved.
I was actually very stressed out before you guys got picked up for season 2 because, it wasn't like a concrete thought, but I felt that it felt important that it keep going, I guess, that the conversation keep happening. And I was like, kind of existing in a bubble. I'm like, I don't know if people are watching the show. Maybe I'm the only one. So I was very happy to see you're coming back.
We're happy about it too.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It was, my parents even just said yesterday, they came to visit me at the hotel, and they were like, they said, it just came and went. It just was so quick. We didn't know what is it coming back? What's happening? So they're excited to see season 2 as well.
Yeah. Now, as a showrunner, is it easier to work in a 6-episode framework, or would you rather work in like the traditional quote-unquote 24 episodes?
24?
Yeah, but I'll just say it's just great to work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, as a writer in Canada, it's like you can't help but be grateful when you get the opportunity to have your work, have a national audience. So, to my mind, it's like whether it's 6 or 20, it's all the same. I think the difference is you want to know going in what
Yeah.
you're working with.
Oh, totally.
Because I think for us, in the second season, you know, we had actually started modeling out a longer arc, and so we then, like, you know, we kind of had to, like, condense things once we found out what the order was, and so it's just one of those things where you want to take, there's certain stories that you want to take the time with, and so you have to decide, like, when you're, you know, what are we going to let go of, you know.
Which baby are we killing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it was also interesting because it's like, you know, we kind of live in a world where, you know, audiences understand that characters have lives that go beyond the show, right? Like when everyone talks about Succession, we all talk about well, what were the conversations between, you know, Kendall and his sister, you know, in between the events of episodes 3 and 4. So it's like you assume that there's something else happening.
Yeah.
So if, you know, you are dropped into a situation in episode 4, you kind of just go with it. Like, you don't have to like, I think unlike when I was growing up and everything had to be like crystal clear.
Yes,
Yeah.
spoon-fed
Yeah.
to everything.
There's audiences are more willing to go with, like, oh, I get it. This is what this relationship is.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then just go with the emotion of the story that we're telling.
I like it. Very cool. And then, having spent some time in Halifax, what's your favorite place to go?
My favorite place to go in
Or at
Halifax?
least, what is
Well,
one of your favorite moments from Halifax?
You know, I mean, Halifax is so pretty, I have to
Mhm.
say.
It really
And
is.
I've only experienced it in the summer, so
Okay. You don't want to be there anymore.
I don't know. I don't know. I will go at one point in the winter, but
Tim's like, no,
don't do it. Oh gosh, I have so many little spots that I love. There's obviously like the very touristy spaces that
Sure.
people know and love,
Yeah.
Peggy's Cove and the Black Cultural Center, the library, and that pier. But I quite like. There's this place that I love, and you still haven't gone there, and you really need to. It's called Little Oak. The food, well, the wine, I'm a wino. I'm a whiny
Really? Okay.
junkie.
Whiny.
I'm a whiny junkie. No, I'm a wine. I love wine. The wine knowledge at this place, the care, the individual, just one-on-one to make sure that you have the right pairing. The food, it's very, very teeny food. Do not go there hungry. Because you'll order like 17 dishes and be like, okay, I'm still hungry. But the food and then the playlist that goes along with this place.
Really?
It's this like very cool vibe. It feels very New York. It's very there's a lot of hip hop, which you wouldn't think when you walk into the space, but like as soon as I walked in, I'm hearing like Kanye West and like Jay-Z with beautiful wine and great food. So it's called Little Oak. That's my spot. That's where I go after I have a 16-hour day. They stay open late, so sometimes it's just me at the bar with my script and my wine and my hip hop. I'm happy.
As long as it's like a glass of red.
It's yeah. Hello.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
For sure.
That is perfect. Both of you, thank you so much.
No problem.
And like I said, let's keep having those conversations because,
Yeah.
I like it.
It's great.
It's the world. It's
Yeah.
the world we live
Thank
in,
you.
man.
Yeah.
We should talk about it.
That is awesome. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.